Cy Gatton was a famous Ohio storyteller. He told tall tales about his own times in life, much like the other Buckeye heroes. He was a woodland walker and a farmer. Unlike Johnny Appleseed, who wandered all the way from Pennsylvania through the surrounding states to Indiana, Cy mostly stayed in Ohio. He also had a wife and children, just like his great-grandfather, Isaac Gatton, the earliest settler of Richland County. Cy Gatton owned the Wade and Gatton Nursery and a resort called Gatton Rocks, where vacationers would enjoy the great outdoors, swim, play, tennis, and have a summer cottage. Cy made his home in Wildcat Hollow, where they planted with rich land soil. Behind his home, he would tell his tall tales for the tourists. Cy was a sharp businessman, much like Johnny Chapman, better known as Johnny Appleseed. He worked the land and loved telling his tales. He told stories about his work, life, and his surrounding area. Cy even included his whole family in some of his stories. Cy heard stories while growing up about other tall tale legends and stories, like a giant lumberjack. Cy's family told him how the giant Paul Bunyan heard that they needed water in the 5 different areas. So Paul stuck out his hand in the earth and helped create the Great Mohican from his palm. It had 5 forks from his fingers, the black rocky muddy, the cedar, and clear forks. And one day, when Cy Gatton was still a young man, he entered the apple cider race. The childhood rival of Cy Gatton was Rusty McNabb. He entered the same race, just to bedevil poor Cy. Rusty, however, entered the race just to bedevil him, and he was a bully who was so tough he cleaned his teeth with a sharp knife and flossed with barbed wire. Rusty taunted and teased Cy Gatton, even while preparing for the race. It's Rusty McNabb.
Your horses are so puny, Cy. You'll have to get out of your wagon and carry them during the whole race.
Rusty wasn't too bright, but no one had the guts to tell him. The apple cider race was sponsored by the general store, the favorite local store, and entering and winning the race was a Gatton family tradition. Rotten Rusty McNabb decided,
"This year I'm going to win first place, no matter what it takes for them to lose."
That meant old Rusty had a plan to do some dirty tricks to keep Cy from entering the race.
If he can't get there, he can't win.
The big race was in town first thing in the morning. Well, sure enough, Cy woke up early to get 1,000 stable chores all done, eat breakfast, do 1,000 more chores, then get ready for the race. Cy began to fill the wagon with apple cider barrels. These apple cider barrels, he stacked 5 on each hand and rolled the 11th barrel with his feet. Just like they do in those lumberjack water rolling contests. "Jumpin' jingoes!" exclaimed Cy. He couldn't believe it. "Somebody stole all my wagon wheels." Rusty McNabb, it had to be that no-good, no-count varmint. He even chased away my horses, that scoundrel. Now what do I do? I have to think real fast. I need something really big. Wait a second, really big and really fast? That means it's time for some rich land soil out behind Wildcat Hollow. Cy planted rabbits. Cy fed his rabbits with the special carrots he'd grow supersized with that special soil that would make anything grow super fast. Then Cy tried out his master plan. I'll mix some soil in with the rabbits' food. Maybe they'll grow super fast too, just like the carrots. They grew all right, big as horses, all 11 of them.
That's one big bunny.
They were so big, each rabbit would carry a keg around its neck, just like the old St. Bernards that Cy read about in the books. Cy strapped the harness onto each rabbit along with the apple cider kegs. Cy rode on the backs of the last two rabbits in the rows, and in the lead was Cy's favorite rabbit, Skip. "Yah!" Cy exclaimed. Off they went off to the races. Cy got to the starting line just in time for them to say, "Get ready, get set, go!" Cy and his rabbits blazed past all the others in their wagons. Rusty McNabb rode close to his giant rabbits and tried to cut the reins. Skip, his favorite rabbit, kicked old Rusty McNabb so hard he flew up in the air and he landed in the Great Mohican. Splash! Cy won the day thanks to quick thinking and the rich land soil of his Wildcat Hollow.